Started in just a moment, so if you would like to make your way to your seats, please grab a seat door from the back. We're going to get started in just a moment.
So the highlighted part, or the bold parts, are the only different ones. The rest of it is, this is all of it.
Not quite. This is like, so okay. I got it. I just had to sing it for myself.
Oh.
This is different. But I think the rest of them is just shallow.
The fellow with the pointy thing. He's almost ready.
Oh, you're right. Ready. Okay. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. After any long week, Shabbat gives us permission to stop holding things so tightly, to not have to walk here in perfect calm, to not have to pretend that our world feels settled, that we can just come simply as we are with whatever this week has placed on our hearts. Some of us might be carrying gratitude, some of us might be carrying worry or exhaustion or sadness or just need to be around other people at this moment, and all of that is welcome. Shabbat doesn't take away everything happening outside of these walls, but it does give us a place to breathe, and it reminds us that we are more than the news, more than our stress, more than what is being asked of us. We're souls in need of rest. So these prayers, these melodies, they help soften us a little bit, and they give us the space to release what we can and to feel a little less alone together. So as we begin, let's take a moment to arrive. Let's feel our feet on the ground. Let's maybe drop our shoulders a little bit. Let's all take a slow, deep breath in and a slow exhale. Again, let's take one deep breath in, making room for Shabbat and breathing out whatever we do not need to carry in this moment. Let's take one more breath in and a slow exhale. May the peace of Shabbat meet us here exactly where we are. Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful is this day. We'll join together with the words Ma Yafeh Hayom on page 128, or page 10.
Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
And as we welcome Shabbat into our space, we do so by lighting our candles. The person I needed to light our candles is a little late. So, Barry, would you be interested in lighting candles this evening? Yes.
Yeah.
And as we light our candles, we wave in that energy, that peace, that love of Shabbat, and we join together in the blessing. Baruch atah V'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you so much. With the words of Lecha Dodi, and with these words we turn to Shabbat as our tradition imagines her as a presence, a beloved guest, like a bride, someone who we have been waiting for all week, even if we didn't realize how much we needed her. There's something tender about this image. We don't chase after Shabbat, we welcome her, we make space, we turn ourselves towards her arrival. And maybe that's what our souls need tonight, not another thing to accomplish, but something beautiful to just receive. So as we sing, may we allow Shabbat not only to enter this room, but the spaces within us that have felt tense and crowded and weary. And may we welcome the possibility that rest can return and that joy can be gentle, that peace can begin with one breath, one melody, one open heart. We'll be joining together on page 138 or page 20. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the 9th verse, I will invite us all to please rise as we welcome Shabbat into our sanctuary.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat וזכור בדיבור אחד. השמיענו-אל המלכד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, השם הוא לתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך ומהורי, אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך ניגע. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise, we face the door as we welcome Shabbat into our sanctuary.
אוי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Don't sit down just yet. Let's turn and wave to those joining us on the live stream. We'll wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Turn to your neighbor, someone across the aisle, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
I think you're dire. I've got a granola bar in my purse. Yeah.
And as we begin to make our way back to our seats, don't sit down just yet. We'll move into our call to worship with the Baruch Hu. The Baruch Hu can be found on page 146, page 146 or page 28. 146, page 28.
Listening to my prayer, can you hear my
Praise to you, Adonai, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. The Shema is only 6 words, but it asks something very real of us. To stop scattering ourselves in every direction and to come back to what is true. For one brief moment, we let all of the noise fall away. We listen past the weak, past the worry, past the rush, and remember, Adonai is one, and our lives are held within that oneness. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. The words for Shema can be found on page 152 or page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. We'll turn the page to the Ve'ahavta, our love song to the divine. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher chotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Mi Chamocha is the song that our people sang after they made it through the sea. It's a prayer for the moment when the danger has not been forgotten, but the body finally begins to understand, I am still here. We are still here. So tonight, may this song help us notice the small liberations that are already unfolding within us. A breath returning, a heart softening, a community singing together again. Mi Chamocha can be found on page 158 or page 40.
Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות. אוסף פלא, אוסף פלא, כי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות. אוסף פלא, אוסף פלא,
אוסף פלא, אוסף פלא.
And as evening settles in, Hashkivenu gives us a beautiful prayer. Let us lie down in peace and rise up again to life. It's the prayer of a people who knows that nighttime can make the world feel more fragile. The mind can wonder, the heart can replay what it has carried, and that darkness makes our worries feel louder. So we ask God to spread over us the shelter of peace, not a shelter that makes us unreachable, but one that helps us feel less alone, a shelter wide enough for our fears, our families, our community, our people, for all of those who are in need of safety. So may this prayer wrap us up gently. May it quiet that restlessness within, and may we feel, even for just a moment, protected beneath the wings of Shabbat. Hashkivenu can be found on page 160 or page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Lechaim. Lechaim.
As we prepare for the Amidah, we enter the most intimate part of our service. Sometimes the Amidah is called Hatefillah, simply the prayer, because it's the place where we stand before the divine with fewer distractions and fewer words between us and the truth of our own hearts. I will invite us all to please rise physically or spiritually. And as we begin, we ground ourselves. Let's feel our feet beneath us. Notice the strength of the ground holding you. If you're seated, notice the support of the chair beneath your body. Maybe let your hands rest gently. Let's all take a deep breath in and a slow exhale. Again, taking a deep breath in, noticing what is present with us right now. And an exhale, letting ourselves be here without needing to fix anything. Let's take in one more breath, inviting steadiness into this moment. And one more exhale, making room for peace. In the silence of this prayer, there's no need to perform, no need for perfect words, no need to know exactly what you believe or even what you need. You might bring gratitude. There might be a name on your heart. You might be holding on to worry in this moment. You might need healing or courage or forgiveness. You might bring nothing more than a simple hope that for a few moments your soul can be at rest. So may this time be a shelter of stillness for us, guiding us to a place into the presence of the Holy One. And may we emerge from this experience open, grounded, and held. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. I'll invite you to use this time to daven silently, using the words here from our tradition or the words that are on your heart. When you are finished with your prayer, you may be seated. I'll invite us to take another deep breath in and a slow exhale. And as you exhale, I will invite us to please rise physically or spiritually as we take our Torah from the Ark. We are going to be at the top of page 364 or page 246, page 364, page 246. It is my pleasure to invite up Chris Ledoux to help us with Hakafa. Again, we're going to be at the top of page 364 with the words Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, or page 246.
Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Me'Yerushalayim.
We'll turn the page.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael Be'idushato, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu Adonai iti, uniromem Shemo yachtav.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
Our Torah is at rest. You may be seated. For those following on the live stream, we are in the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verses 1 through 4. It is my pleasure to invite up Sarah Bailey, who will be helping us with the Aliyah. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamporach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu
Amen. Amen. Vayehi ha'am kemitnonenim ra be'oznei Adonai, ve'yishma Adonai ve'yachar apo, ve'tavar bam esh Adonai, ve'tochal biktsei hamachaneh, ve'yitzak ha'am al Moshe ve'yitpalel Moshe al Adonai, ve'tishka ha'esh. Vayikra Shem hamakom hahu tiv'ira ki va'aravam esh Adonai. Ve'ha'asafsuf asher bikirbo ta'avu ta'ava, hita'avu ta'ava, ve'yishvo ve'yivko gam b'nei Yisrael ve'yomru mi ya'achilinu basar.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah u'emet, v'chayei olam natan l'chutenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you so much. In our parashah this week, the Israelites are being sustained by a miracle. Every day, manna appears. Every day there's enough. Every day the people wake up in the wilderness and find that they have not been abandoned. They may not know the whole route. They may not know how long the journey will take. They don't even know what tomorrow will bring. But for today, there's food. For today, there is sustenance. And for today, there is enough. But still, the people complain. The riffraff in their midst felt a gluttonous craving. And then the Israelites wept and said, if only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish that we used to eat in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. But now our stomachs have shriveled. There is nothing at all. Nothing but this manna. It's a human moment. The Israelites are not starving, they're not without food, but the food they have has become invisible to them. The miracle has become ordinary. The blessing has become boring. The manna is still there, but their capacity to recognize it has worn thin. And then there's this very spiritually revealing line in Torah. There is nothing at all. Nothing but this manna. Nothing at all except the very thing keeping us alive. Nothing at all except this daily gift. Nothing at all except this miracle that we've gotten used to. That's the spiritual danger our parashah places before us. Not a danger of having needs, and not a danger of longing for something more. Judaism is not asking us to pretend like manna was always like a feast. But Torah is warning us about what happens when desire grows so loud that it drowns out gratitude. In Musar, this is a failure of hakarat hatov, the midah of recognizing the good. The phrase there is important. Hakarat hatov doesn't simply mean being grateful. It means recognizing the good, seeing it, literally naming it, letting it register before we rush past it. The Israelites still had their needs. They still had their fear. They had exhaustion. The wilderness was certainly not easy. But in that moment, their craving had become so consuming that they could no longer see the good that was right in front of them. They didn't say, we're grateful for the manna, and we also miss the food we once knew. They declared, there is nothing at all. That is what craving can do. It can turn something into nothing. It can turn enough into emptiness. It turns blessing into background noise. It turns the daily miracles into this manna. Musar is helpful here because Musar does not shame us for having desires. Desire is a part of being human. Wanting comfort or variety, beauty, pleasure, security, love, stability, none of these things are inherently wrong. The question for us, though, is whether our desires are servants or masters. A desire that is guided can help build a meaningful life. A desire that is unchecked can blind us to the life that we already have. Our rabbis teach in Pirkei Avot, who is rich? The one who rejoices in their portion. That teaching is not telling us never want anything else, and it's not telling us accept injustice or stop growing or deny your pain. It is saying that without the spiritual capacity to see what is already present, no amount of more will ever feel like enough. If I cannot recognize the manna, then even a feast will eventually disappoint me. If I can't recognize today's blessing, then tomorrow's blessing has already become ordinary. If I cannot say there is something here, then I will keep living as though there is nothing at all. This feels especially important in a time when so many of us are carrying anxiety and fear and fatigue. When we are afraid, our attention narrows. When we are tired, our patience shrinks. When we feel overwhelmed, we begin to notice mostly what is missing, what is broken, what is uncertain, and what is not enough. And to be clear, there are real things to worry about, and there are real challenges facing our lives, our families, our community, the Jewish people, and our world. This is not an invitation to spiritual bypassing, and gratitude is not denial, but gratitude is a form of resistance against despair. Hakarat Hatov says, I won't let fear be the narrator of my life. I won't let craving be the only voice in my soul. I won't let what is missing erase what is present. The Israelites looked at the manna and they saw monotony, but they could have also seen faithfulness. They could have said, yes, we're tired of this food. We miss what we knew. We're scared, but still every morning, somehow, there is enough to keep going. That's a different spiritual posture. Not some fake joy or forced positivity, it's steadiness. Musar asks us to practice this because it's not something that always comes naturally. It's a discipline, it's a muscle, and it's trained in small acts of noticing. Before I complain, can I name one thing that is sustaining me? Before I focus on what I lack, can I recognize what I've received? Before I declare there is nothing at all, can I pause long enough to see the manna? And maybe that's why it came daily, because gratitude is daily work. Enoughness is daily work. Even faith is daily work. Every morning they had to go out and gather what they needed just for that day. Not tomorrow's portion, not next month's, just today's. And there's wisdom in that, because so much of our anxiety comes from trying to gather tomorrow's manna today. We want certainty, we want guarantees, we want to know that everything will be okay far, far into the future. But the manna is teaching us a different kind of rhythm. Receive what is here today. Notice what is sustaining you today, and let today's enoughness be enough for today. I know that doesn't solve everyone's problems, but it does change the soul with which we face those problems. The people's mistake was not that they wanted meat. Their mistake was that their craving made them say, there is nothing at all. And so our work is to become people who can tell the truth a little more fully. Yes, there is fear, but there is also courage. Yes, there's uncertainty, but there is also community. Yes, there is grief, but there still is love. Yes, we're in the wilderness, but here is the manna. A Musar practice for this parashah can be very simple. This week, I invite you, before naming what is missing, name what is present. Before saying what is wrong, name what is sustaining to you. Before rushing into complaint, pause and ask, what manna did I overlook today? And sometimes it doesn't have to look dramatic. Sometimes that manna, that miracle, can just be the person who checked in on you, or the meal on your table, that breath that steadies you, a community that still gathers, a prayer that has been said 100 times and still somehow holds us. Sometimes it's the fact that after everything we've gone through, we are still here. The wilderness is real, the hunger is real, and the fear is real. But so too is the manna. So may we become people who can recognize the good without denying the hard. May we train our souls in Hakarat HaTov, this sacred discipline of noticing blessing. And when our cravings, our fears, our frustrations tempt us to say, there is nothing at all, may we have the wisdom to pause, to look again, and to say, there is something here, and there is enough for today. There is manna on the ground, and with that, we can still keep walking. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. At this point in our service, we call to mind all of those who are in need of healing. Our community is praying for a number of people at this time. Barbara Bergman, Bob Brovler, Charlene Brovler, Susan Brovler, Leslie Brown, Alan Carson, Christina DeSuvic, Maggie Ingebretson, Barbara Esmond, Joel Esmond, Bill Fisherman, Sue Gupta, Nancy Halevi, Linda Rose Herman, Marcus Hyman, Judith Hyman, Mark Justin, Marcia Katz, Aidan Kozlovich, Lee Kurth, Mel Lang, Stuart Libby, Nancy Lipset, Rebecca Magana, James Mamiri, Gordon Matsuoka, Claudia Mendoza, Leo Mendoza, Arjuan Meredith, Mitzi Mild, Nina Morgan, Stuart Novick, Paula Perry, Martha Randolph, Jennifer Reed, Bondi Richmond, Wendy Robbins, Patricia Sarles, Arlene Siegel, Chaya Simcha, Jeffrey Snyder, Noah Tobinkin, Mike Trask, Keith Turo, Butch Ugrin, Gerald Umeda, Sylvia Voinow, Harriet Weissman, Robert Wolf, Cheryl Wolf, Ruth Yathabetz, and Kathy Zane. If there is someone or someones for whom you are praying for this evening and sending healing to them, I will invite you to please share their names with us now. Not into that list, my Aunt Sandy Sherrill. The words of Misha Barak can be found on page 371 or page 253.
Leimotenu source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, ekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
All right. Hello, hello. All right. I'm going to invite us all to please rise again, physically or spiritually, as we return our Torah to the Ark. It is my pleasure to invite up Sam Goldstein, who will be helping us as we return our Torah to the Ark with Hagbah. We are going to be on we're going to be at the bottom of page 370 or page 252 with the words Vezot HaTorah as our Torah is lifted. We'll turn 2 pages over to Etz Chaim He as we return our Torah to the Ark.
Zot HaTorah asher sham Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael oti leolam Yam Moshe. Etz Chaim Hi lemachazikim ba ותומך מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Can you hear me now? There we go. You may be seated unless your name is David Satker, because you have some announcements for us.
Thank you, Rabbi. I have a feeling if I asked you all to give me the announcements, most of you could do it, but repetition is good.
Just make sure you're speaking directly in there so we can hear you.
Why is everyone so tall here? You're the only sons. Join Rabbi CJ for Torah study tomorrow at 9:30, in person and on Zoom. Please register in advance, and I joined him, and it's a very nice group. So I could speak to that personally, right, James? Right. Thursday, June 11th, the office is closed in observance of King Kamehameha Day. Is this the only state that celebrates a king? June 12th, Tat Shabbat and Simchat Shabbat with Rachel Hamer. Visiting Hazanet Rachel Hamer will be leading music for both Tat Shabbat and Simchat Shabbat next week, Friday, June 12th. Krav Maga Foundation workshop will be here on Sunday, June 14th. It will be, if you don't know what that is, that's the Israeli Defense System. And Chris and I and others will be there. And Sarah, you're going to be there? Well, your husband, Russ, will be here. You'll be there. And you're going to be there too? Holy cow, we're going to have an army here. So this is self-defense, and who doesn't need that? So it'll be here Sunday, June 14th from 12:30 to 4:30. Doors open at 12. It's $75 a person, and you can register online with the temple newsletter, or there's a flyer in the back, and it has one of those smart squares for you to register. Jewish Community Speaker Series presents Jews and Indigeneity. I guess that means indigenous. Coming up on, that will be on June 18th, which is a Thursday at 6 p.m. here at the temple. Part 1 is with Sherry Trotter on indigenous identity, modern political construct, or ancient paradigm, or both. Please register online or scan the QR code on the flyers around you. You will be asked to show a valid ID and sign in at the door. Hawaii Food Bank Drive. We are currently collecting donations in support of Hawaii Food Bank. The most needed items include monetary donations, canned protein, canned meals, canned fruits and vegetables, and bags of rice. A donation link is available online. Just $10 helps provide 21 meals. Tonight's oneg will be held after service, which is when it's always held. After the oneg, please help us out with two things. Please pick up around you like a good citizen, and please leave by 8:45. As a matter of fact, the new policy is any cars in the parking lot at 9 o'clock will be sold and the money given to the Hawaii Food Bank. I made that up.
I'll invite us to please rise physically or spiritually as we turn to Emanu on page 586 or page 282 as we begin to wind down our service, page 586, page 282. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, latet gidula le'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. At this time, our attentions turn to those who have passed recently, and in seasons past, we continue to hold the family of Herbert Ladner in our thoughts and in our love. At this time, our community is also observing a number of yard sites. Ann Landau, Ann Scher, Ann K. Spector, Augusta Susan Hoff, David Petrowski, Doris Rose, Intel Lilko, Hugo Weiss, Isaac Bernstein, Joseph Edward Kaufman, Julia Reagan, Leo Janowitz, Libby Lavender, Max Leibson, Maxine Morantz, Maxine Schnagel, Maury Eber, Meyer Siegel, Rabbi Morris Goldfarb, Sarah Feldman, Saul Friedman, Simcha Erzezer, Sonia Taubenschlag-Hinberg, Sonia Horowitz, Sophie Podell, Stanley Aronowitz, Sylvia Wolf, and Von Gelder. If you are in a period of mourning or observing a yard site, I will invite you to please share their names with us out loud. Sending our love. This week I am also observing the yard site of my mother, Sarah. I will invite us to please turn to page 598 or page 294 for Mourner's Kaddish. If it is your custom to rise, I will invite you to do so. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah, be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayichon uvyomachon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevarach le'alam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithalei v'yithalal shmei dekudasha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom v'imramav, hu ya'asei shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Zichrona livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, amen. I will invite us now to make our way into the aisle. We'll gather together. If you are comfortable, if your neighbor's comfortable, folks want to put their arms around one another. We're going to join together in Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We're going to build this world from love.
from love. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And if we build this world from love, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, then God will build this world from love. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ooh. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
We'll join together in Kiddush. I'm going to pick on Rabbi Sandra and ask her to come up here and hold the cup. We're going to pick on her, our guest tonight. If you all don't know, this is Rabbi Sandra joining us from Maui. So we are so pleased to have you this evening. We're going to join together in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila le'mikra'e kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashamat L'chaim. We didn't poison it, I'm sorry.
Okay, let me tell you, this Torah portion is not really easy to do. So I found one thing in it that I'd never heard. There were quails. And the quails fell down, and I don't know, I couldn't understand any of the explanation. However, it was an easy subject. So we have a quail. But I couldn't understand what happened. It seemed like they killed
Maybe
people.
we'll talk
It killed
about it in
people.
Torah study.
It killed people. I don't know. How could the quails kill people? But it was meat. They wanted meat. They got meat, which I had no idea. Where has my education been? Anyway, join me. Dad, over there. I mean, yeah, Rabbi Mars Goldfarb over there. Yeah, we did not learn about this. Anyway, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz
B'te'avon. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please join us in the back for Oneg. We'll wish you a good rest of your Shabbat. Please join us tomorrow for Torah study and a good Shavua Tov. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
What is bate?